Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we take a look at the AW590 G-Shock. But first, I wanted to thank Silvertime Watch Store for supplying the watch, and if you want to check them out, you can click on the link in the description. I also did a detailed tutorial for this watch, so if you want to know how to set everything up and use all the functions, you can click on the link right here. I originally got this watch for the mentioned tutorial, but ended up deciding to do a review as well. Now the reason for that is not some historical importance of this model, as it really has none. It is also not some fancy tech that no other G-Shock has, and it certainly isn't made out of some special materials. The reason I decided to review it is the size of the thing, or should I say the lack of it. Don't let the specified lug-to-lug of 52mm fool you, as this is one of the smallest G-Shocks currently in production. This watch has the same size, proportions, and even shape as the G-Shocks from the late 90s and early 2000s, making it the answer to a question I get asked a lot. What is the best G-Shock for a small wrist? Usually when people ask me this question, I automatically recommend the Square, especially the AW-5610, as that has an even shorter lug-to-lug than a regular one. But many of those people asking don't want a purely digital model. And when it comes to analog digital and analog G-Shocks, finding a small one is almost impossible, as most are part of their extra large series, making them extra large, or they're part of the Master of G series, making them even larger. That makes this model a rare bird in the lineup, and to show you just how small it is compared to G-Shocks of today, I'll place it next to a GWG Mudmaster. And as you can see, it looks almost like a lady's watch next to it. Truth be told, the Mudmaster is one of the largest G-Shocks available, but still, even if I put it next to something more classical, like the 6900, this will still look and wear smaller. I really think that this watch would look good even on a wrist as small as 5.5 inches. Other than that, is the watch any good? It depends how you look at it. Despite the small size, it comes with one of the biggest and easiest to press buttons of any G-Shock, making operating the watch a joy. And although at first it appears to have all the functions found on G-Shocks, including world time, 5 alarms, stopwatch, and a countdown timer, sadly, both the countdown timer and stopwatch are limited to 60 minutes only. Now to compensate for that a bit, the timer has an auto-repeat function, something I find very useful on my Square, but only because I can set it to a number of hours, making it easy to keep track of, let's say, medication application. With only 60 minutes of this, that biggest advantage of the auto-repeat becomes irrelevant to me. When it comes to more advanced functions, this watch is neither solar nor atomic, but most of the extra large series are not as well, so I can't really fault it for it. Design-wise, I do like the stainless steel bezel that on this version comes in silver, but is also available in red and blue. The red and blue are IP coated, making this version the most rugged, as it will handle scratches better. When it comes to the drawbacks of this watch, next to the already mentioned very short countdown timer and stopwatch, it comes with two more. The first one is the backlight that is done with a single LED that lights up only the analog part, and even that is done poorly. But believe it or not, even that is an improvement over the GA100 and 110. The second drawback is the fact the analog part is not synced to the digital part like on most G-Shocks, but is set up independently, requiring you to keep a button pressed in the hand setting mode until you sync it to the digital time manually. Since the hands can move only forward, it makes DST changes a bit of a hassle, as moving 1 hour backwards requires you to keep the button pressed until the hands complete a whole 11-hour cycle, which is pretty long. Luckily, the large buttons make it somewhat easier than on some models that have this same outdated system. So all in all, this is an average analog digital G-Shock that would probably not be interesting at all if it wasn't for the small size. And that makes it an answer to all those who would like to have a G-Shock but don't want a watch that looks like a hockey puck on their wrist. Because of that, I'm glad Casio still makes it, as it shows they understand there are those of us who don't like oversized watches. It does have its quirks, like the annoying analog port setting and the short stopwatch and timer, but given the low price and given the rarity of very small G-Shocks, I do believe it has its place in the G-Shock lineup. Well, that's it when it comes to this week's review, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.